You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Challenge Rivals 2 After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Challenge Rivals 2 After Show.
I'm leaving with my bitch. Came with my niggas, but I'm leaving with my bitch.
Hey.
With my bitch. Came with my niggas.
Thrilla and Camila, man.
Yeah, Thrilla and Manel.
Hey. Yo, what up, AfterBuzzers? Bing is for doing it. We are here doing another AfterBuzz TV after show for MTV's The Challenge Rivals 2. Thrilla and Camila, season, what is this season down? Why does it say season 1?
No, I believe this is
like 24.
Season 24, yeah.
I can't. 24, episode 9. It's your boy DJ Jesse in studio with the one, the lovely Roxy Striar.
Hello,
Rocks.
Roxy Striar in the house.
Mark Long couldn't be here tonight. He's out in Vegas promoting Pocket Protein. Make sure you guys get you some of that.
We're gonna get some in here soon too, so we can try and tell you how real it is.
I think I'm all set on Pocket Protein. I have enough Pocket Protein.
I don't think you should be on here promoting PEDs, man. A lot of people getting in trouble with that stuff now, man.
Yeah.
No,
Well-
it's great. Go, Mark.
And Nicolette is sick at home with SARS. Just kidding. But instead we have two real
You can
rollers.
still get SARS. I'm like, ooh.
She's
tough
gonna kill.
break.
She's gonna kill me
Oh,
for even
man.
saying that. We're probably gonna get a call in from her. But in studio we have two real worlders. We have certain Nehamiah Clark.
But hey, be honest. Did you play that song because I was here?
No, we played it because the title was called Thrilla and Camila.
Ooh. You didn't even see that,
You
did you?
thought you
I
were
think-
special for
No,
a
I thought y'all
second.
were racist.
Oh, so this is better than the
Nehemiah's on.
You know.
All right. And we have from St. Thomas, finally in studio, we have
Finally.
Trey Weatherholtz.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Is this on?
It is.
It's on?
Yeah,
Okay,
you
cool.
could.
Yeah.
This thing is on.
I like this.
So, Trey, you've been a guest of ours calling in. Now you finally have made it out here.
Made the cut, man.
You
I
made the
appreciate
cut.
that.
Yeah, we saw you in Vegas, but you never been to our home
We had a
turf.
really good time in Vegas,
Yeah, we
didn't
did.
All right,
Yeah, we
let's
did.
not bring that up. And we'll have
show, different time.
we'll have the steamer call in as well to finally give him his stump the steamer. I think we might be able to stump him this week.
Let's stump that mofo.
Yeah, we got a good one.
All right, let's talk about the episode. Where are we at with it? When you guys liked the episode, what you think of the challenge?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Actually, I was entertained.
Did you like the drama in the house?
Yeah, because it wasn't too much. You
That's
know,
true. It
it
was a
wasn't
nice
too
You don't
much.
think that was too much?
No, I liked it. I mean, I don't know about you.
Camila being held down by 3 people and
That kind of turned me on. See, this is the difference. See, living in LA, this is what's wrong with the LA women. You know what I mean? They don't snap sometimes. You know, being from the East Coast, you have a woman that'll snap on you, from time to time.
You want that Walking Dead snap, like like a zombie.
Just once in a while, just let you just know that the love is still there.
What's wrong with you guys? So that was attractive to you.
Little bit.
The Thrilla and Camila was
A
attractive.
little bit.
I mean,
little bit.
Camila's attractive, but I can't say that was attractive.
Trey's more of the softer.
I'm a little conservative. I mean,
You like an LA girl, Katy Perry type.
I could deal with that.
There you go.
That would be okay.
Well, CT's still into DM. We got this love thing going on. I mean, you were there this time. Is it real? Is it for the show? A lot of people are up and down about it. What did you get from it?
I mean, honestly, I didn't really spend too much time around CT and DM when they were together. Sometimes coming back from challenges, they'd be on the back of the bus together. I know a challenge in particular. There was one time the DM, she was really hot. She was overheating, and he was giving her like a little foot massage on the back of the bus. But then you see some of these challenges where he's getting it on with Cook, or he's flirting, whatever he's doing. So it's just kind of hard to read. I think that you saw CT tonight say something about that's the only way he can get attention from DM.
Yeah, he says when he's flirting with other girls, he's really flirting with her.
Right.
But I've heard both stories now. I hear people being like, no, it's real. Obviously, they've loved each other for a really long time. And then I hear people being like, it's all for show. So I don't know.
I mean, they
I was
dated.
there, I don't
they
even know.
dated, like, you
nobody
know.
questions that. They absolutely did. But I know that since then, they've both had other people in their lives. And I feel like they do know that they're the couple of the show. So they, of course, want to give the audience what they want. but at the same time, I'm not looking at this not buying it. You know, like I am buying it. So I feel like
you think it's real?
I kind of do. Like even if they think to themselves like, oh, it's not real, we're playing it up for the camera, I feel like then they're in denial because I feel like, you know, you see sparks flying. I think it's undeniable.
You want that kind of love?
I want the kind of
CT and DM love.
That's CT and DM. CT and DM love.
There we go.
That's what the women want. They want a character like CT to, you know what I mean? It's almost set up like a TV show.
So now you know what men want and what women want.
It almost is. It is.
It's almost set up like a TV show, huh? That's crazy.
So weird how that
Unum and
happens.
Murray? No way.
They're good. I never really looked at it like a TV show, but now that I am, you know what I mean?
I wonder if Roxy can get down like DM in the PM.
DM in the PM.
Whoa.
Yeah, like PM, like at nighttime.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's what we call her, DM in the PM,
I
because
think-
she gets
Why?
down at night.
I think I can.
But you can get DM in the AM too. I mean, sometimes she's just dancing like all the time.
I think I
Really?
can get
She's a
DM in
great
the
dancer.
all M's. Like I think hopefully.
In the all M's.
In the all M's. AM, PM, QM. If it
Okay.
ever was to happen, you know.
I'll take it.
FM. He's just on the radio.
AM, FM. Yeah, now I'm on the radio.
There you go.
All right, so CT, whatever, DM, the love circle. I feel like it's just something that we're just gonna keep getting. I mean, rumor has it she's in a new relationship now, so.
Yeah.
But who
Are you
knows?
tired of seeing it?
I kind of am because it's
Really?
like, all right, with the Battle of the Exes, it was cool story because they were exes and now they're on the same team, and to see two exes come together and like kind of rekindle that. Now it's just kind of like I feel like he's doing it to antagonize the story, to kind of be like, oh, let's just keep it going because I know people are going to be rooting for us.
No, I think that he's head over heels in love with her. I think she's iffy on it, and I think that he's not willing to give up other girls. So even though he's in love with her, he's not willing to give up other girls.
I would agree with that
So he's
somewhat,
just gonna like keep her around, and he's not willing to let her go, but he's not willing to completely give himself to her either.
Well, I'm gonna need her to let him go if he's gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, I know.
Tell him, Uncle Jesse.
Right. Listen, this ain't Full House. You gotta get out. It's just me and you. You
Yeah.
cannot be bringing ABC in here. All right. Frank Janedy, they're talking about the breakup with Zach. Obviously, Zach was your teammate. You guys had some beef.
We did.
How'd that get squashed?
I mean, when you guys are tied to the hip and you're fighting for a lot of money, I mean, you got to put pride aside. I mean, you just have to. It's the only way that you're going to last in these games. So I think Zach and I were both able to do that. We do have big egos, but at the end of the day, we would love a lot of money. So I think that everybody, you've actually seen, Jesse, what I would argue is that in this challenge in particular, the rivals become closer friends than the friendships that they had prior to going into the house. I mean, you just saw Johnny and Frank get rid of Nani and Johnny, and Johnny was just saying that she lived with Frank. And like, you know what I mean? So that's crazy to me that you're... I don't know.
Tough. It's crazy as an audience member to think that you guys have relationships with each other outside the house.
show,
You know,
yeah.
if you had never talked to Frank or John A before, you'd be like, oh, well, they weren't on the same season of The Real World. Like, how are they so close? But you see tonight, finally they say, you know, we both live in California together. And people don't ever think that. They think they see these bonds grow in the house, but you don't think about outside the house. A lot of you guys are buddies.
But they won't show what we're doing outside of the house. That's
True.
not the aim of the show. The show is, unless it comes up like it did today, where those two people, so then they made the comment. But
Right, but that's crazy because people watching are probably thinking like, I didn't even know that these two were friends. Like they don't even interact that much on the show, let alone best friends that lived, whatever it is.
there's not a lot of character development.
Right.
You know.
That's what I was going to say. What Nehamiah is saying is basically like, unless it's relevant to the storyline, they're not going to show it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to.
But you would almost think that they would add that element to it because at the end of the day, I mean, we've hung out with Zach and John A, and you do see how close they are living out
Frank
here.
and John A.
Frank and John A. So
Zach.
Well, yeah, that was the past.
I'm sorry, partner over there.
But so to look into the house, that's more interesting to me tonight. This was way bigger for me to watch it because it's like, ooh, Frank, you gotta go back to California
Me too.
and deal with that.
Right,
I was
it's
thinking
like-
that too.
You say that they only show whatever the storyline is, but they're the ones making the storyline essentially. So I feel like they could better tie that into the storyline.
I mean, they're making the storyline, Roxy, but there's so many side stories that are going on. Nehamiah knows it's just kind of like you don't know what storyline they're going to use. Right. And that's the problem. Is like, especially when you're starting off in the beginning, you got 32 people who are fighting for camera time. So, I mean, they could have showed more of Zach and I mending our friendship, you know, over the course of time, but they didn't really fixate on that so much because there was CT and DM going on, and you know what I mean? So, yes, they could develop it, to Nehemiah's point, they could develop the characters a little bit more, but you don't know what BMP or MTV is going to choose to go with, so it just kind of hurts all of us, you know.
They have to keep their area safe, because if they put all this development into you and then you're the first one gone, we just wasted time. It's like, we don't care about watching your relationship build if you're about to be the third person off. So all of this comes off in the editing room. They're like, oh, well, they're not going to be here that long.
Yeah, does anybody even remember that Tyree and Dunbar were on this season?
Yeah,
they were on there?
Yeah, exactly.
That's where he went. I thought he got arrested. I was calling his phone and stuff. It was going to voicemail, but he came back so quick. I was like, I didn't even know he went on the challenge.
They
he was out there for like 3-4 days.
Damn, poor dude.
Yeah, I feel bad because Tyree's one of my close friends on the challenge, man. He's an awesome dude.
Shout out to Henny B, MTV.
Hennessy B.
MTV.
Well, I mean, Trey, what were your thoughts as far as, you know, being eliminated and getting off?
And that whole thing.
That whole situation.
My circumstance was obviously a little bit different. I think what you saw in tonight's episode, I would argue that they lost fair and square. I wouldn't say that the game is completely fair, but they did lose. They didn't cheat. They didn't break rules. Zach and I went out a little bit differently. I mean, we got DQ'd on a technicality or whatever they want to call it. So that leaves a little bit more of a sour taste in your mouth. You've seen this on previous challenge seasons. You know, CT, he lost to Brad before on a technicality. I saw some other people have gone through that in the past. So I think that leaves a different kind of bitter taste in your mouth as opposed to just losing fair and square.
Bitter towards the game, towards the show, towards your partner, towards yourself.
Towards production.
Towards production.
I mean, I don't want to get into it too much, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of just gray area that goes on. So I'm not bitter towards Zach. Zach, I mean, there were plenty of times where he helped me through a challenge that I probably wouldn't have got through without him. So I owe Zach just as much as Zach owes me. These are partnerships. It's 50-50, you know what I mean? You're only as strong as the weakest link.
Right.
So I'm not bitter towards Zach at all. He helped me a lot. It's more so just bitter at the way that it turned out. I think that's probably the right thing to say.
In the house, who did you look at as your biggest competition?
In terms of the guys, I think that we were definitely looking at CT and Wes, just because they sized up to us perfectly. You know, CT obviously is kind of a little bit bigger, so he would be more like a Zach, and Wes and I kind of like emulated each other. So we knew that they were veterans. We knew that they were both decent athletes, and the size comparison, I think that we respected them pretty well.
You and Frank, as far as the house goes, well, what's your take on Frank, period, before we get into what Frank and Johnny started talking about?
Frank is not my favorite person, and I'm sure I'm not Frank's. Without defaming him, as he likes to use his, very profound vocabulary words. Frank and I are just two different personalities. I definitely see Frank as a hypocrite. He argues that he's been painted as this villain, but yet he does it to himself and then blames everyone else when it happens. Mm-hmm. Then he says that he accepts responsibility for it, but he really doesn't, because next episode you're going to see him crying about it again. So Frank is a person.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. So Frank is a person. I mean, I respect him as a competitor in the game. I respect Frank as a man. I wouldn't take anything away from him, but I just think that our personalities are different. So I had a little bit of time to talk to him in the house this time, a little different than Battle of the Seasons. I think we kind of threw a lot of things under the bridge. So if I were to do another challenge with Frank, I think it's just safe to say we're on a civil basis. I don't think that he's going to come at me the same way that he did in the past, and I'm not really out to get him either. We're just going to keep it civil. Acquaintances is probably a fair word.
So that if they did the challenge acquaintances,
we might be partners on the challenge acquaintances. Do you have any acquaintances that you would be?
That would actually be an amazing
show.
Challenge, I think I met you once.
Acquaintances, mostly just females.
The challenge, civil rights.
Not
and that's wrong. Yeah. That's real wrong, man.
A real racist group up here.
What are you going through today, Nehamiah? Do you want to?
No, hey, but before I came
the
here,
march was this past weekend. So
it's just been a lot, man. It's just been a lot, man. I watched the MTV Awards,
Bitter about that.
Twerking.
I was bitter about that.
Yeah. Why are you bitter? You just dropped a mixtape.
I don't care. I'm not bitter at all. No, but for real, what happened was I did watch Django before I got here.
But I can't.
That's what the problem
That'll just put you on another level.
So I didn't mean to. It was just on, and I was, you just stop and so. I apologize
Are
to
you
all my
mad you're
fans
sitting
out
next to
there.
me right now?
A little bit, little bit. Nah. No, you cool.
So hold on. Frank is considered a rookie still, correct?
How many has
As far
he's
as I
done?
was concerned.
Yeah, this is
his second.
challenge.
That's it.
Yeah.
The battle of the seasons.
Battle of the
Battle of seasons and
Yeah,
rivals.
he's still. You have to do 4.
Before you're
After.
considered a vet.
And that's because once you do 4, you actually get paid to be on the show. You get a higher salary, so that's how you consider
I
somebody.
mean, you still get paid more to be
Right.
on the second one as opposed to the first one. I think it's more of a prestige thing that's kind of come over time. And Nehamiah might know this a little bit better. Didn't they have like a new blood versus old blood, or vets versus rookies or something? So how did they categorize who the vets were as
It
opposed
was
to the
people
rookies?
who've done 4 more challenges,
Okay, so
or
then
3 or
that's-
more. Actually, 3 or more.
3 or more. So
Does that
that's
make
where
you
we
a
say
vet?
the benchmark.
Yeah, I'm a vet.
Yeah.
He's a vet.
Yeah, look at
wait.
his beard, baby.
Hold up.
You know what I'm saying?
What was the
I'll be a
tweet?
rookie
You were the last black
No,
man.
no.
No, don't
I
do
was the-
that.
Stump the steamer. What are you doing?
That is not a Stump the Steamer question.
I thought that's what we were doing. He
What's
just
your
watched
stomach?
Django Unchained.
I just had to give him that because I just felt
Well,
like
yeah, go
Give
ahead.
it to him.
Go ahead,
Give it to him then. Go ahead.
you're the
You think of your own
last.
stump the steamer then? Okay.
All right,
You
girl.
gotta come up with something.
Forget it. We'll just save it for Stump the Steamer then. Anyways,
Well, now it's kind of
No,
ruined because I
no.
feel like he already knows now. It's obvious.
well, he's not even
You were
calling
the
in yet.
last black guy to win the challenge.
African-American.
Yeah.
Brown people news.
Somehow that was queued up.
You know what's more disturbing is how does he have that on
Yeah.
on command?
I
Like
prefer,
that?
I prefer colored.
That was a long.
Brown people news.
Yeah, you'd have to go back to a show we do here at AfterBuzz with the Sis Stars.
I wanna-
Yeah, you see that? You see that? You see what they got queued up back there? Ain't no
Yeah.
telling if we go through their
We
library.
wanted to set Nehamiah up today. All right.
And
All right, so
anyway.
Frank is considered a rookie still. What did you guys think as far as Frank saying, Johnny wasn't sure if Frank was, someone she could trust really. She set herself up for that one. And then Frank starts saying, I'm mad at these kids. There's no
Right.
loyalty. And he says the rookies don't know how to play the game and calls Jemmy the ugliest creature on the show.
It
That's
definitely makes him
harsh.
look like a flip-flopper, like you're saying, hypocritical. Honestly, like
I
can't
agree with him with his last statement.
You don't think
yeah,
Jimmy's
about
attractive?
What?
I just asked. I don't know.
Jemmy,
I'm sure she's a nice girl.
Do
I'd
you
love
find
to
Jimmy
drink with her.
attractive?
Do I
feel.
think Jimmy's attractive? I mean,
Something
she has
different.
she has attractive qualities.
I was going to say the same.
She has attractive
What, like a
qualities.
vagina?
Huh? That's one.
Well, if
the
that's the
main
case, then
one.
every girl has
yes.
an attractive quality.
What's wrong with you guys? I need Nicolette here
All
tonight.
right, back.
That's what it
wait,
is.
all
Too
right,
much
let's not pick on
Too much
Jemmy. right now.
testosterone.
Yeah,
bro.
Wait,
Jimmy,
but what do you think
Jimmy.
about Frank's comments as far as calling people rookies and
The new kids,
no
he
loyalty?
says.
And is this
yeah.
just again digging his
I mean,
hole?
it just
that
reminds me
you're-
of last season. Wasn't he like beating the ground with a pillow saying, they're making me look like a crazy person?
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
bro, you're making yourself look like a crazy person.
Honestly, in
It's just-
tonight's episode, he was like, and I know it's my fault, but it's not my fault.
Listen,
you
just
know?
because you own up to something doesn't mean that
owned
you,
it.
you know what I mean? Doesn't mean that
Yeah.
you've like completely accepted it and now it's like okay to move on just because you said, I know it's my fault. Like,
Right.
you can know something's your fault, but it's still your fault. You know what I
Actions
mean?
speak
It's
louder
like, what
than
I
Right.
don't like what people do is when they apologize while they're currently doing something.
Right. That's a
Like,
good point.
you either do something and then you realize it was wrong and apologize, or if you knew it was wrong while you're doing it, then you don't apologize later because you're not sorry.
Right.
So I felt like he did a lot of that this episode, and unfortunately, he does a lot of that in general. I think that he is a great dude, but I think that on the show, he puts himself first, as a lot of people do and have to do.
I think one of the biggest things that you can tell between a veteran and a rookie is like, for instance, if me and Wes were in that situation, we already understand what our relationship is outside. And if you go into there with the agreement that I'm only going to be able to save you up until a point, when you have that talk, you're like, hey, this is up until that point.
Right.
I can't save you anymore. So that's the
Why
talk
are you saying that? Because Wes is a friend of yours, or
yeah, like if you go in there with a friend.
Well, he's
You
just
talked
saying that.
before.
If you're saying that in general, if Nehamiah and I just, if we got called to do the next challenge, and if we just made an agreement right here, and I was like, yo, Nehamiah, I think that we could probably make something work until about week 3, and then after that, bro, as much as I respect you as a man and a person, I think that we're gonna have to, every man for himself will go our separate ways. So, but at the end of the challenge, we could basically say we're still friends. There's no bad blood because we already came to an agreement. Like, hey, bro, I understand you want to win the money, I want to win the money, and leave it at that.
You
There's
need to
no
be real
backstabbing.
careful because MTV could take this and edit that
There's
whole
no
situation.
backstabbing.
Well,
Do
this
you
is
think they-
acquaintances, the challenge acquaintances
Yeah.
right here. We're starting that.
I just didn't feel like they didn't have any other options. I felt like they did have other options, that Frank didn't have to throw John A in there.
Who? Whoa, it was only between Paula.
Well, wait, we'll get to
Yeah,
that
we'll get
because we
there.
got the Steamer on the line. What up, Steamer?
What's on, guys?
So creepy.
Hi, Steamer.
Steamer.
Hello.
All right, I know you just heard what we talked about, so and I know how much you love Frank. So, what did you think about Frank making the comment about loyalty and that these new kids don't have any?
It's typical Frank hypocrisy. It's just the way he's on the show. Nothing more to say about that.
Oh, there you go.
It's pretty straight.
That's all I got to say about that.
Now, normally Frank has the freakouts, but today Jemmy done took the cake. Camila, Jemmy
Camila.
took it at first.
Yeah.
I just
And
want
then
some
she
ketchup
passed
in there to
the
see what
devil.
that looked like.
She passed the devil on to Camila. Jemmy starts yelling at Knight for not sticking up for her because of what Frank said. As an ex, I mean, you guys have seen them together.
A little bit. Like
You
if my
see her side?
if my ex-girlfriend was on there and the dude was talking down, I would definitely defend her. Period.
Because you're a gentleman.
Right, yeah,
Knight
yeah.
is most definitely not a gentleman.
Yeah, he even looked punchy.
Jemmy,
He just
why
looked
you would
soft.
ever
He was just
expect-
sitting there like.
Like, Jemmy, you
Frank
know,
might punch me.
You know exactly.
I think there's a little bit of that, a little fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Skirt.
Jemmy, you know exactly who you dated. Like, Knight's an asshole, and he's not going to stick up for you. Why you would ever think he would when he's never proven that? Like, time and time again, he's proven the exact opposite of that.
Right.
So I just don't know why this seemed like such a shock to her. And I was like, well, duh, Jemmy, you know?
It wasn't a shock. You just drink and you get bored. So
I guess.
that person that is sitting right across from you, you know what I mean?
She just wants to pick a fight.
Yeah,
true.
you're bored. It's
And
like
in
what are you
these
gonna do?
houses, no matter how much you pick on Frank or Frank picks on you or vice versa, you know, Frank, I think he has a has he ever punched anybody on any of the shows, Real World or Challenge or whatever?
On his Real World, I know there
Yeah.
was a situation there, but I don't think he.
It wasn't like a cast
Yeah,
member
no.
though, was it? So his career has never really been in jeopardy in terms of getting kicked off or anything
Right.
like that. So I think what happens with Frank is that, like, you know, Knight, I wouldn't go as far as to say that Knight's scared of Frank, but I think it's just like you just don't even want him in your vicinity. Like, you don't even want him in your face, because it's not that you feel physically threatened by Frank. You don't think he's gonna punch you, but even him just being there, like, did you see last episode when he was in Jordan's face? Like, even that's too much. Like, nobody
might try
wants
to kiss
that.
him.
Also, Frank,
Yeah, you know?
It's also
Like that.
happening, as you were saying before, with his vocabulary. Frank's very smart. He's a really
Sure.
smart dude, and
It's a way
he
of
can
making people look dumb.
Yeah, making people look dumb. He
Right.
can definitely get you tongue-tied a lot of the times, and when you have somebody very intelligent yelling at you, it's intimidating, obviously, and for other reasons. When you have anybody yelling at you, it's very off-putting, and
Right.
Frank screams a lot. And to me, like, screaming, I don't deal well with somebody yelling
Sure.
at me.
Well, maybe Camila can take some lessons because she didn't come off intelligent at all. Well, I mean, Nehamiah was attracted by it, but I'm saying,
There's not enough black women on these challenges for one. So it's
That's
like this,
very
like
true.
you get a little bit of, you know what I mean? Like,
well, they
but-
don't want to put Naya on the
Brazilian's
damn
close.
show
No,
because
she'll
Yeah,
be
Brazilian
on.
is close.
Brazilian's
I'm telling you,
about
like
as
that's a
close as they're getting
spicy
right
little
now.
like. Every once in a while, if now if it's something that happens frequently, it's a problem. But every once in a while, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And you got
Yeah.
the sweat going, and her little chest was, you know what I mean?
How about
Like,
You
Anissa
just
though, bro?
like-
Because we do have Anissa on there. How you feel about Anissa?
Anissa's cool.
she's a
You know what I mean?
big
Okay, so
fish.
she's
That's
cool.
just
All right,
number
we're
two.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, she's cool.
She cool.
First of all, you just liked her because she looked hot. Her body, yeah, she's got great
her body's
boobs
on
and she's
point,
got a
yeah.
nice ass, and everybody voted the other week, and they're like, yeah, she's the best body in the house. But for her to say, she goes, I'm the one person who never said anything negative about this piece of shit. That's a contradiction in the sentence itself. Like, I just look at her all the time, and I'm like, Camila, are you kidding me? Like, do you hear yourself?
Have you ever had like a heated argument with a boyfriend, and then it just led to like some crazy, wild, passionate kissing and stuff?
But
That's how I feel
but that's
she
not where it went.
is.
It would.
it's not going to because Johnny has a girl.
if Johnny,
Right.
that's what she want. If Johnny would have just grabbed him like, shut up, and then it would turn into a. But
But Johnny's not going to do that.
right, but that's what she wants. She wants some
You think
type
that's
of
what she's
reaction.
going
She
for?
wants a reaction from them. When you care about someone, they're not giving you anything, and they're just trying to make you look stupid. You want some type of reaction, some type of connection.
So do you think she was flipping it because she got irritated that Knight was pushing Jemmy's buttons? So then she starts reacting. And do you think she was trying to see if Johnny was going to
I
step
think
in
it
for her?
triggered something in her. Like she went through that same situation that her partner was going through, so it triggered something in her. And also, we don't see what happened in between.
Right. You
All
sure
of that because you see Johnny step up to the window and say something like, and then she's like, "You're an asshole, Johnny," and we don't see what happened in between that until her going crazy.
I hate when they do that,
Well-
where it's like huge reaction and it makes her. Maybe she wasn't as psycho as she looked, you know?
Right.
Something
Listen, just
definitely
because
happened.
Camila speaks fluent English doesn't mean that she exactly understands everything that she's saying.
Right.
So we
She
can
said
give her
she
a
was
benefit of the doubt.
crucified. I
Not
was
even
like,
as a joke.
if you were crucified, I think
extreme.
MTV would have showed something along the lines of what
Right.
they did to you.
Right, absolutely. And I know you were kind of saying that as a joke, but seriously, like.
No, I kind of meant it as well.
Exactly. Like
in a funny way.
at the same time, like I'm saying all this crap, but I do feel a little bad for her. I mean, this has happened multiple times.
Wait, why do you feel bad for
Bring
her?
on yourself though.
I feel kind of
Sometimes.
bad for her because I feel like she like works herself up and she. I don't know if English was my second language and you're like trying to like communicate.
No, my point is,
She's
you need
it's
to
a
learn to
culture. It's a
calm
cultural thing. It's
It
a
is a-
cultural thing. You know, like that is how people interact. When I grew up, like we yelled at each other in the house. When I got to the railroad and I tried that, I looked like the angry black guy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's how we communicated. We made fun of each other.
Who's
You know,
we?
my family growing
I
up.
feel like my family did the same thing.
But
I think a lot of families do that.
you get into a situation where you're raised around people who don't do that at
Yeah.
all, and a little bit of it comes out. Then it's kind of like,
They feel like, oh, he's offending me.
whoa.
They would rather you talk crap behind their back than to their face.
But then people on the challenge would also like to talk crap to you and then have you react and then back up and make it look like you're crazy.
Right.
They want to poke stuff at you, and then when you go crazy, they're like, oh,
Look how great.
There
it
he
is.
It's all about
goes.
making you the bad guy.
Yeah.
That's all it's about. Because if you're in the right and they're in the wrong, then you can make something happen.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys can make something happen too by checking us out at iTunes over
guy.
at AfterBuzz TV.
Transitions like
Check
crazy.
Check out the
Segways.
challenge. You guys can download our podcast for free. Please support us. Get us to #1. You guys had us on the top for a bunch of weeks, so just keep us there. Thanks.
And while you're on iTunes, what else can you do?
Oh no, you tell me, Ross.
Well, you can definitely go download Serial Buddies, Venture to Serial Buddies. It's a really funny comedy. Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro, our producers here, produced the film. It's amazing, crazy celebrities in it, so funny, you'll die laughing. So you can either rent it or buy it, but help keep the lights on in here by supporting them, by supporting us.
And it's like $5.99.
I hear there's a
doesn't wanna
director's cut with
die?
Roxy in it.
Ooh. And there you guys go. If
That's
you want to
supposed to be
see
a surprise in
the
the
Adventures
booth.
of Serial Buddy uncut director's version with Roxy Striar
Yep.
here.
Ow, ow.
might have to
get it. You're going to see what they really use that couch for.
They're like, what
Can we get a
couch?
screenshot of the couch?
Hey, team
Coach.
Team couch.
Team Coach. Wave to the camera, guys.
I'm all team couch.
All right.
Okay.
Let's talk about the challenge. Swingers. Steamer, what did you think of the challenge tonight?
I liked it.
Oh, fine.
I mean,
All
there's
right.
not really much to it, but he
Not
did, like,
like-
had
straight to
enough
the point
purpose in
tonight.
it, which is pretty good for the show, considering the last few.
Okay, do you have the issue with this steamer also? Because I know sometimes we have the same problem where there's not enough things to watch that look that hard. I felt like they kept talking about the current, but it looked like they were just swimming like assholes. Like, it's like, I know you guys are saying with the life vest on it's hard, but it didn't seem like that strong of a current to me.
Well, hold up.
Hold up.
Hold up. Because have you ever swam in a really hard ass current? I don't know what the water was like there.
Right.
Did you have any current issues?
I don't know. It depends on the location because there's 2 different water locations that we've used so far. So the one that they were at, I believe, is the same one where you guys saw us doing the swings, but that was the first time we were at that location. So obviously that wasn't a swimming challenge. I mean, basically when you get knocked down, all you do is swim back to the ladder and
Right.
you're done. So I didn't really get to experience it on the same level that they're doing it because it was an actual challenge today was to swim in the water. I didn't really experience
and more
that
so
too
from
much.
the current. Trey, you were telling us about damn jellyfish up in the water.
Mad jellyfish, man. I don't know if you mess with jellyfish.
I sure
I
do.
They
really
got
don't even
tentacles
mess with
longer
water,
than your hair.
man. I don't even mess with water, man.
I just feel like this is a job. Do you guys agree going on these, this is a job?
Hey, I fill out tax forms.
All right,
and
but
stuff
Nehamiah,
like that, so
you
yeah.
don't mess with water, but can you swim?
I mean, I can.
If you were to go on a challenge, would you go on the challenge not knowing how to swim?
No.
what
I
I'm
can
saying.
swim. I can swim, but I don't swim.
Right. I mean, it's not like a hey
it's
summertime.
like, yeah, we were talking about it before. You know, like there's certain challenges that, you know, black people are gonna be good at, and some of them aren't. Every single black person on this one quit.
Oh, that
Cara
is
Maria
true.
quit. Has she been nominated?
Oh, she's part of the
Honor.
club.
She got the dread.
yeah,
made
she
it?
got the couple
She made
dreads.
it. She made the cut.
She got the.
All right, so they got a trapeze to over to another trapeze, which this is I don't know. I mean,
I
you
don't even understand.
Trey made it sound like it's you get the advantage if you can make it to the other trapeze.
I agree.
I look at it like, shouldn't you
I
have been
agree with my own point.
disqualified?
Oh, if you don't catch it.
But
It would have made it more interesting.
Yeah, but nobody would have made it then.
No one would have made it.
I bet maybe that's the way it
guess, yeah.
started, and then they saw like nobody's gonna make it, and we're like, screw this, we'll cut that part. Like,
That happens a lot though.
yeah,
The-
that's
the
why I'm being
producers
curious.
Yeah, they
You said
expect us to be
changed
much.
things.
They expect us to be much better at it than we really are. And we just
So
go
it
out
could have
there.
started out as a disqualification, but then when nobody, you know what I mean, when that didn't happen, they're just like, we can't do it. We're just
Like
gonna switch it
if
up.
only a couple of people would have not made it, then at the end of the rules they'd be like, well, the rules were you had to touch both. You know? So that's how they hit you. So they look at how we do and they're like, oh, we definitely can't.
So is it they have PAs try these things out?
I think
not
a lot of
PAs.
PAs, but most of the people have to try it out.
I think they have stunt guys, and then they also hire people that are based around the location too. So like when we were in Turkey, you know, they hire local Turks that are just kind of sitting. I mean, obviously they got to sign paperwork and stuff, but yeah, like we don't get to see it, but we hear about it. You know what I mean? And I remember one time in particular, we showed up to a challenge, and one of the stunt guys was wearing a neck brace and crutches.
No.
And we had to go the next day to do it, and I'm like, man, I don't know what happened to him, but is this safe? Like, is this straight?
Oh my
So that's a little
God.
nerve wracking. Yeah.
Do you remember which challenge that was for?
It was when we were in Turkey for Battle of the Seasons. It was one of the elimination rounds, so I think it was the ones where they were hanging upside down and being dunked in the water.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when they had to solve the puzzle?
Yeah,
you had to pull your partner
That
up.
one was
And you can get
yeah.
up pretty high. You know what I mean? Big Easy was throwing Camila up there for a little bit and stuff. You can get up there pretty high. So
Yeah. Do you guys get to ask questions about when they explain the rules of the challenge?
Yeah.
Do you ever
Yeah,
say
but-
like, wait, we both have to swing onto
Yeah, we
it,
do.
or?
We got smart about that, but it still
Okay.
doesn't matter.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. It doesn't mean that everything is kosher.
Yeah,
Right.
you just if
Solve
you just go
everything.
in there realizing that you're making a TV show, then a lot of stuff that happens won't affect you. You know,
Okay.
just like, look, I get it. You know,
Somebody like Zach takes it extremely personally because he wants everything to be an athletic event and just black and white. Like,
like,
these
we
are the
ain't in the
rules.
Olympics.
I want to come
Right.
in. I want to dominate everybody because I'm the fastest, I'm the strongest, and I just want to get out of here. And then when TJ or the production throws in some, balls out of left field, that's when you see people like Zach get mad, like, well, you didn't say that. And it can be frustrating, but some people, like Nehamiah said, if you go into it with the mindset, this isn't in the Olympics, this is a TV show, and you know that they're going to do this, then you're a little bit more kind of like conservative, and you're just kind of like, I understand, I know that this is just
Right.
for show and entertainment. So
Right. Gotcha.
So Diem and Anissa get to pick the order. Obviously, they put Camry and Cook first. Cook makes the jump,
surprise.
and then
Yeah.
Cara Maria starts drowning with the life vest on.
Yeah.
poor baby.
I mean, I guess you can't help it if you can't breathe. But Cara Maria's like, I literally couldn't breathe, and I'm like, well, just like suck in, But
You get the wind knocked out of you for maybe 45 seconds, then you can start
But
swimming.
you guys
You
do
can't
water
panic, though.
challenges in every challenge.
And she's
There's
been on
never
6.
not been.
she's been on 6 of them.
Right.
How do you be on 6 of these and say like, I really have no idea how to swim? I just feel like that's
Right.
something maybe, as I was saying, this is a job. I feel like maybe you should invest in learning to swim
I agree with that.
and in some.
I mean, it's really
swim
not
enough.
even an investment. Like,
Right.
you
I don't mean
Just for
invest
regular
like
life.
ask
I don't
somebody.
even mean financially invest. I just mean like invest your time. Like
Just
go
to-
to the YMCA and like jump in the pool there or something.
What about for heights?
Well, she didn't seem to have a problem with heights.
No, I mean, like, what if you have a problem for heights?
Well, you
Well,
How do you-
then
how do you practice
call your
that?
No
friend
way.
go
There's
bungee.
no way to do it.
You better go bungee jumping. Just get used to
Right?
it.
Because there's some stuff you can't get used to. I'm not about to be.
No, like
I'm not
snakes,
about to call
scorpions.
homies up like, hey man, I need you to build me a bridge, and we're gonna take it down to Santa Monica. I'm gonna walk across that mug. I got a challenge coming up. I got to train.
There's a difference
Throw
between
rocks
being
at me.
afraid of something and not being able to do something. You know, people have fears, and that I even stood up for Jemmy with her ketchup fear. People have irrational fears.
She's
and
scared
I
of
get
ketchup?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really scared of
They
ketchup.
actually have a word for that. I forget what it was.
It was a long.
It was the title of the last episode.
So, but anyway,
It's a word.
So if you have a fear
That's
of
weird.
heights, that's different. But she didn't have a fear of swimming. She just couldn't do it.
Right.
So I think that's different. If you're
Well-
scared of something, then people get scared.
That's what Cook was trying to tell her.
In
Yeah.
17 minutes, 14 seconds, which is why they lost the battle. Nani Janedy, they didn't make the jump. They were struggling against the current. Then Paul and Emily went in. Neither of them made the jump. Camila and Jemmy completed it. Anissa and Diem tried to push Anissa. Now, is this something that you guys see in the house? That Diem has this motherly role or kind of is very
You've probably done
bossy
more
over people?
challenges with DM than I have.
I mean, nah.
To me, she
Nah.
kind of comes off like a.
Good answer.
Is she a good manipulator?
yes.
You watching it? You know what I'm saying? You can see it. You know what I mean?
I think we've talked about this before. I mean, obviously, you know, everything that she's gone through, everybody has a certain level of sympathy for Diem, and it depends on each individual person and how far you're going to take that and where you draw the line in the game. Obviously, everybody is extremely happy for everything that she was able to overcome, and we all support her in, you know, the recovery and the remission of cancer. But I think that there also comes that time when you're in the house, it's like, do you want to be that guy or that girl who, you know, puts Diem, the sweetheart, you know, into a tough position? And I think a lot of people struggle with that more so than they would if they had to put in John A. or Nani.
Right.
I think more so people don't understand that she knows how to play the game.
Right.
So she's very good at playing the game, you know, and she does have a very soft face. So if she's telling Frank, no, that's not the person that I met. This is the person that I met. This is all you are. And, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to suck it up and be like, really?
If I was her, for every challenge I come on, I would just shave my head and put that scarf on. Like, hey guys, I'm really tired today. Like, I mean, I can't hold her in.
But specifically to this challenge, I
That's
felt
wrong.
like it was weird.
True talk.
Going to hell, brother.
Specifically this challenge, I felt like it was weird that she was pushing Anissa. I almost felt like she was using it as a crutch for going
Slow.
Like,
I've done that
I'm
before.
helping her out. You know,
Come on, bro.
I got you.
I'm gonna wait with her.
Exactly.
We can do this. I mean, you can do this.
Yeah, you just like speak with, you know, you're motivational in your words, and in your body you're really like, I'm exhausted. I hope she goes slower so I don't look like that big of a bitch. Like whatever.
Because sometimes having a bad partner is a little helpful, just because you don't want to look back. She's like, push off of me, and then I'm gonna grab onto you.
Right, exactly.
We'll use each other. Just lean up against me, and I'm leaning up against you. That way we ain't gotta sleep with our head in the mud.
The bottom line was Diem was behind Anissa the whole time. Like, however you want to phrase it, whether she was helping her, she was behind.
She can't pull Anissa.
So,
come on.
Yeah,
how you gonna
push somebody in the water?
Yeah, like
that doesn't
push
help.
off of me.
Like,
What do you mean?
Because I mean, I'm no physicist or anything like that. Like, I don't understand, you know, the exact ramifications of it. But from my understanding, when you push somebody in the water, you're also going to go backwards.
Really
even if you're helping Anissa, you're hurting yourself.
She only did it for a little while, and then it just cut to her in front of her, pulling her. It was like, push off of me. And like, oh, this ain't working. Oh, no. Retreat. Shout out to Anissa for making it, though, because if you're in the water swimming, especially against the current for that long, that's hard. So
Yeah, that
for like
is true.
17, 20 minutes, that is hard.
it's almost like the longer you're in there,
The harder it gets,
is. So
yes.
if you can just like, even if you're dying, as Cook said, you know, don't stop until you die.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're dying the whole way, just try to get there so badly, because if you're in there for 17 minutes was what, one? So think about what lost. You know, you're in there for a long time.
And think about the angles that they
17
use, guys,
minutes
because it doesn't, you know, when we watch on TV, it doesn't really look like
You're
the
right.
buoy was that far away. You know what I mean? The angles that they choose to use for the cameras, it makes, and obviously they speed up time, so it makes it look like they complete them within 2-3 minutes. But like you guys said, you know, they're finishing 17, 20 minutes in.
No, 17 was the
yeah,
longest.
sorry, I messed that up.
So they actually
14 was
didn't
the
finish this pretty
longest.
quick.
Okay, but
So maybe 15
But you know
is
what
what
I
I'm
mean?
saying.
The camera angles and the way that the time lapses in terms of editing for the episode, it makes it look like it's a lot easier than it is.
But even
and
if
it's
you've
really
ever been
not.
to a beach and you've ever tried to swim out to that buoy, you'd be like, that shit look real close before.
Yeah, it's easy to talk. It's not like I think that I could
for
swim well
sure.
during this.
Steamer,
but-
what do you think as far as Diem manipulating the household? Dum.
I think she's pretty good at it.
I think you're
100%
right.
in.
Does it make you like her, dislike her? Think she's playing the game
I like Diem.
well? You like her?
Yeah.
All right.
So
Playing the
descriptive
game. I
as
mean, it's
always.
nothing really, anything that Johnny's not doing or anyone else.
Yeah, the people who play the game make it to the end, you know?
That's true.
That's it.
That's true.
All right, so let's talk about the guys. Jordan and Marlon. Marlon actually made the jump, and then Marlon quit while swimming because he said Jordan was being a dick.
Marlon was a little baby about
Yeah.
this. Honestly, he's like, if Jordan's going to be an asshole, Jordan said, you're really going to quit, Marlon? I would have said the same thing.
I mean, who knows what else he was saying?
That's
But,
true.
hurry the hell! You know what I mean?
You got it, brother. You can do this.
Look,
I can do this one hand.
I got it. Take a pocket protein.
Mark Long swimming while they're doing it.
Hey, oh my God. Do you guys find that inspirational and motivating, or do you find it annoying when you're
I don't know,
working?
grown man yelling at me, man.
Not
Hell no.
pocket
Look, I
protein.
got this, man. If I ain't gonna finish, get off my back. You don't gotta yell at me. It ain't gonna help. You know what I mean? I feel
mean,
Marlon.
okay.
I don't even know how he heard him from all that damn way because he was far as hell.
They said he
Every
was out
time
of
he was
Thailand.
closer.
Wes said he
Oh my
wasn't even in
God.
Thailand anymore.
Then we get Knight and Preston. Knight makes the jump. Poor Preston, struggle. The struggle is real with Preston. He took a cannonball into that water.
Do you really feel like poor Preston? Is that something you feel? Poor Preston?
Sometimes I do, because I'm just... Sometimes
poor Preston for even keep getting invited back and accepting it. Like, it's just like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. You know
Preston's that guy that always walks into the glass wall, I feel.
I like Preston, but
Preston's the male version of Little Casey.
Okay.
All right.
We need those.
We do need those.
And I mean, I'm actually surprised the two of them are still here.
That's only because of strategy.
Right.
Really. I mean,
Because they're
you've heard Johnny say it before, and it's the truth. I mean, okay, think about it. When Zach and I were going into the jungle, we could have easily said, I mean, and you can make the argument that we still would have disqualified whatever, but if we really wanted to make it easy upon ourselves, we would have said, okay, put us in against Knight and Preston because it's almost a gimme. Instead, what did Zach and I do? We actually went after Johnny and Frank because we wanted to go after the big dogs. Mm-hmm. Because what that means is now, if Zach and I do make it to a final, which we were actually expecting, now we're going up against Knight and Preston in a final, which is basically a moonwalk. You don't want to go up against Johnny and Frank and Wes and CT in a final. They're experienced.
Right, you probably figure if you can't beat them now, you can't beat them down the road.
So what you do is you keep
out.
Knight and Preston around because you know that in the end that's going to benefit you.
Right.
Is Johnny a good swimmer?
I don't know. Is he?
Nah.
Well, I mean,
He said tonight. He said
when
no,
I think
he
of
was
Johnny,
pissed
I
at
think of
himself.
Johnny as usually one of the top competitors.
We had a
and he
swimming competition.
kinda
I wouldn't call it a
slacked.
swimming competition. Like when we first got to the pool, we realized that we had like an Olympic-sized pool in Thailand. I would definitely say, and Nehamiah knows from living with Wes, like Wes was like the #1 dude. Like
Swimmer?
because he used to swim in high school. I think he was actually pretty
looks like
good.
a swimmer.
Yeah, he
He's
couldn't do
good.
real sports.
Yeah.
Swimming is a real sport.
he would definitely
Right up there with dance and cheerleading.
But I would say Johnny was average. I mean, he wasn't anything to like be like, oh
Right
yeah,
on
he's the
about.
greatest. But at the same time, he wasn't that bad. So average.
Johnny's a good competitor, and also what you have to realize is that when you've done this many challenges, when you go to a challenge and you see something like what we see, even if you go first, you've done this enough times. So already come up with a strategy, already figure out a good way to go about it. So it's like you're seasoned at this. They just take the same thing and just make different variations.
And
of
not
it.
only that, but obviously his social game. You see how he reacted to Camila, which was no reaction, and a new person might be like getting back in her face, and he just laid back and was like, okay, do your thing.
So CT and Wes win. They get the $1,000. Anissa and DM versus Jemmy and Camila. Jemmy and Camila are the winners for the girls, which leaves poor Cara Maria and Cook to lose. We go back to the house. Jemmy and Cook are sitting out there talking shit about Cara Maria, like, and I mean, it is real talk. It's like, bitch, if you've been in this challenge for how long, you need to learn how to swim.
But did you see how they
And
played
then
it
as
off
soon as
when she
Cara Maria
came
walked
up?
in, she's like, hey, boo.
That's what I'm talking about. I hate that. Like, just say it to me. Say if you're mad at me, if you're angry, just say it. You know.
That would have been real talk, and
That
she
would've
really,
been awesome.
and honestly, Cara Maria should have taken that. Like, you're right.
You could hear the only thing that was there. It wasn't
bush.
like a wall. Yeah, it was a
like
bush. You can hear it through
like
a bush.
Cara Maria, you can hear that. I know you can. I
she could hear
never
it.
would let anybody. I bet she did hear it. You know.
That's why she walked over.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
she didn't say anything.
Yes, she did.
Yes,
she
she did.
said, that was my fault today. I got to step up in the.
She's not
No,
really
I mean, she
confrontational though, like that. She's not gonna step. So she's seen Jemmy wig out on like multiple occasions, and she's not confrontational
Right.
like that. Like, you
Yeah,
know
I
what
guess
I mean?
that's better. You guys are
Like,
right.
we don't need to raise
She's
what
had it with
happened
Wes
last
maybe
night.
before, but that was like different. I think Wes poured a. What did Wes pour? Like a bottle of like
soda
on her head. Yeah, that was pretty vicious.
Who started crying on this episode? Who was crying?
On this one?
Yeah, it was Camila, right?
Jemmy and
cry?
Camila.
Frank cried?
Cries a lot.
He
I
cried?
don't know.
No, not this episode.
No, he didn't cry
Not
this
this
time.
one. Sorry,
a little
I'm getting
bit.
confused.
No, it was
He cried a
Camila.
little
She
bit.
was screaming crying.
All right, so
Yes.
then we go. Frank goes to Johnny, basically telling her, like, "Sorry, bitch, I love you, girl, but I can't have DM and everyone else attacking me."
To play devil's advocate for a second, at least he did tell her.
He didn't tell her.
He
though.
didn't tell her.
He was
he did.
trying
He
to.
said we talked about it right before. They didn't show the second time, but he did tell her.
right.
He did tell her.
Oh.
You can't. I agree with you guys. I think it's messed up what he did, but at least he didn't mess up and blindside her.
But does that keep giving Frank a free pass, in your opinion? Because you guys are the viewers and you guys are the ones watching.
Yeah.
Like, you guys keep, and Frank uses this defense as his argument as well, is basically, well, I let you know. I've never lied to anyone. But so does that make it right? Just because he comes up and he says, I'm going to do it, does that make it
No,
okay?
because my thing that irritated me the most was when he was sitting over there with Paula, like, oh, they're talking about me because they got voted in, and Emily's like, oh, they just need someone to be mad at. He's like, yeah, and of course I'm the easiest target. Well, duh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
No.
I feel like I'm watching High School
Steamer,
Musical.
Steamer, what you got to say?
I don't want to defend Frank, but I feel like I have to.
Oh?
It's not just him. Like, he's partnered with Johnny. So how is Frank taking 100% of the blame for this? Johnny should have a say if he wants to put in there. And he's not going to put in Emily and Paula because he's friends with Paula. So that just leaves Diem and Anissa. So, and even if they voted for Diem and Anissa, John A. and Nane would have gone in anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. And then he tries to antagonize John A. Like, hey, John A., hey. Like, obviously, you know she's mad. You just let the girl go.
Put the little headband on.
To answer your question,
then they go to this, the jungle, and he's got John A.'s. Who thought it was John? He was wearing Johnny's headband.
Oh, I thought he was wearing Johnny's headband. I was like, he is not wearing Johnny's headband to the or his shirt.
And we got Snapper, which is you have to blindfold with the bells around your leg.
Yeah, this is a joke. Like I told you, my boy Rob was real pissed about this one, man.
And I mean,
I think that's fair that he was pissed. That
I think it's fair too because Rob put on a lot of muscle to do this. I don't know if you guys have seen the transition of Rob between My Real World, St. Thomas, transition to Battle of the Seasons and where he was on Rivals. Rob has put on a lot of weight, and there's only so much training you can do for these challenges because a lot of them aren't athletic events. But it does upset people who put in a lot of time and effort.
Juicing.
Yeah, well, whatever.
or that pocket protein.
Man, dude,
Or that pocket
I spent
protein by
$300
Mark
on these
Wall.
Roy's, homie. All I got is rage now. Sitting at home, you know what I'm saying? 2 weeks later, swole as hell, just at home mad that you kicked off, can't even wipe your ass now. God damn it, I can't wait till the next one. I'm gonna be even bigger.
I know.
So I don't know. What's a harder way to go out, like in your guys' opinion, the way that Zach and I went out on a DQ, knowing that you rightfully won, or how Rob went out, you lost to a team that you know you're better than, but you lost in a blindfolded stick swinging challenge.
I think losing in a
No,
DQ
I'd rather I'd
hard.
rather go out that way because it's like it's a mental game. Anyone can play that game,
Right.
and it's like remember which one was it with the elastic thing around the ear?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh,
No,
ear
floss.
pull.
Where you
Floss around the ear.
That was one of the
dumbest
jokes of
thing.
insane games. It was a joke.
But I like that they
amazing.
throw that stuff in there because it's like it doesn't matter who you are. That blindfold with the bell and the stick, anyone could have won that. Anybody could have won that.
That's what I'm saying. I would be more pissed to go out in a DQ because at least the blindfold and the stick. It's not like you're blindfolded with a stick and the other person isn't. You're
Right.
on the same playing field.
That's true.
And so I don't think it's a fair game in terms of the challenge. Do I think it should be on this show? No, because I like seeing big competitions. And this literally, if you just took off the blindfold and made the stick a bigger, like a thicker thing, I think it'd be a better competition.
Oh, no, that's promoting. People will be at home like, yeah, let's play this game.
Well, I think Nehamiah knows too. All I was going to say is basically, I think that they pick and choose when they find out what teams are going in the elimination, what game they're going to play, and they do put weaker teams in these weaker games. Like you don't want to see Zach and I swinging sticks. Like you know what I mean? We're two of the more physical guys in the house. You want to see them knucking heads. You know what I mean?
So they
it's like,
choose that. After,
I think that they choose.
Yeah, base. So
Would
and
you
it
agree with
depends.
that?
And if it's a stronger team, but they may not
Want 'em in the house.
yeah, then they're gonna
Right.
throw a competition where you're running
That'll
on a
be a
treadmill,
disadvantage.
and
I mean,
you know.
when you
Right.
saw Battle of the Seasons, you guys got to choose the games that other people played.
I liked that.
Yes.
So-
it's just the format of the challenge. It's
Yeah,
going to change
it
every
used to be
season.
that way.
All right,
So I think that's
we're about to
better.
get the thing on this, so I want to go in because we haven't
That whole thing.
stumped the steamer. So stomp the steamer. This is from CSUA Kirk, Andrew Kirk. He watches us every week, so we appreciate
Religiously.
him. All right, Steamer, you ready?
Yeah.
On the first duel, Johnny faced off against his roommate from Key West, Tyler. The name of the game was I Can. What I want to know is what object did they have to bet on, and then can you tell me how many did they actually lift?
I was there.
Nehemiah, do you want to answer that one?
I do, but I don't get the prize. I was there. Yeah, that's how
how you
I
went out.
Yep, on some. Damn, good memory, man.
Oh, so he knows.
What's the
Yeah,
answer?
All right,
I
so
pretty much
it
got DQ'd.
was Tyler from Key West, and the name of
Yeah.
the game was I Can, and you had to guess how many you could lift. What did
Yeah.
they have to lift, and then how many?
I forget what the actual round things were, but you lift them in the box, and I think they said
Just guess what it was. You don't have to guess the number.
like what it was.
Yeah, what did they have to pick up?
Was it potatoes?
No. Nehemiah, what was
You
it?
know.
Was I right? Watermelon.
know,
It
yeah.
was watermelons.
Yeah.
Watermelon.
And how many?
you
do you
right?
think
Did he do like 25?
How many? I think it was like 50.
No, he did 31.
31.
31.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, 'cause I knew they maxed out at that number.
How many did you lift up?
Well, what happened with mine, I was going against Big Easy, and we kept going the numbers back and forth. He would say 35, and I just kept going one number above him.
Right.
I'll say 36. And then he was like 43, and then I said 44. And then they're like, hold up, there's only 43 watermelons here. Eric, since you said you can lift 43, then you lift it. So then I had to just sit back and watch him.
And then he did it.
Wow, you got
And then he did it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But also, I sent Kenny home too. In
That's
like
messed
30
up.
seconds, in like 10 seconds.
Weren't you like, well, go get some more fucking watermelon?
It was my first challenge. I didn't know. I just sat
legit.
back and I just watched it happen. I was like, damn, this sucks. Is this how this thing goes?
On that note, let's head to predictions.
No, that's only for stuff to steam.
I just wanted to do it.
AfterBuzz
The weird
TV.
gypsy music.
So we see the challenge next week is Rampage.
Yeah, it's like rugby mud run.
Then there's that.
But actually, that one looks fun.
That looks fun.
Yeah, it does. And then there's that big CT fight with Wes and Johnny, and
That looks fun.
that looks fun. I have no idea what's going on there, but it seems
And then we
aggressive.
get DM and CT kiss.
Did they?
They're stepping
no
up.
way.
They're writing the tale, the
Oh my
romance as we
God.
come to the end.
That's
It's
crazy.
coming.
It's
Everyone's so
coming.
excited.
I'll be mad. I'll be like, you made me
Let's
wait
get
6
it
weeks for
trending.
first base.
Can we get it to trend, guys? Let's get it
I'm sorry.
to trend.
What are we getting trending?
Let's get it to trend. Let's just get it to trend.
Oh my god.
All right, guys. I want to
Hey,
thank.
this is no a reflection of our relationship. None of this. This is just. This
Oh,
is
we're good still. This is.
Oh, yes. This is my boo thing.
Good. All right, guys. I
love her.
Oh, is
If
that
you guys want to see
I've been
more of that,
loved
make
the
sure you
Jew.
guys check out on iTunes The Adventures of Sarah Buddies Uncut with Roxy
That's
Striar.
what's up.
I bought it twice.
Pocket protein. I want to give a shout out to Mark Long, who's promoting his Pocket Protein. I want to give a shout out
If
to
you're in
Trey.
Vegas, you can watch it tomorrow on the news. Somewhere in the channel.
Follow Mark's Twitter. He'll probably tweet about his
on
podcast.
Hey, I'm going to be back. I'm out here for 3 more weeks. I'm
And
going to be back.
we're bringing him every week. He's
Yeah.
we got a new co-host. We got Nehamiah.
NehamiahC.com. Go and check out the new album, Magna Clark. It is
dope.
out and it's live. I appreciate that.
Check out
Magna
Pocket
Clark,
Protein.
NehamiahC.com.
We'll tweet it out again. Shout out to Team Coach.
Team Coach.
Team Coach repping it hard.
That's my man's right there, Josh. You know what I'm saying?
And we got Roxy's sister.
That's
in the
our
house.
sister?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Hey, we didn't
Team
even know that
Couch.
this whole time.
They've been repping Team Coach hard. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You guys can follow us on Twitter. You can follow at AfterBuzz TV on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can follow me and keep up with the conversation all week at DJ Jesse J.
At Roxy Striar.
At MTV Trey.
At Nehamiah MTV, NehamiahC.com.
Till next week, same time, same place. Peace.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
And make sure you guys check out The Steamer at The Steamer on Twitter. Buzz you later. I'm like my.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.